Millie Ball here to take you through the week on HRTV.
You've done some good work here. You've done a great job filling in for Jeff. We've got time for a bullet drill. Now we're going to do a little history here for Jackpot at Delta Downs. The best finish for a jackpot runner in the Kentucky Derby.
I don't remember.
Think John White. Think big price.
It's closing argument.
Closing argument.
Right,
Very good.
I wouldn't know.
Second in the 2006 jackpot. Second in the 2007 Kentucky Derby. Any Breeders' Cup winners ever run in the Delta Jackpot?
That would be the Sprint Person Big Drama.
Oh, this year, right? Big Drama. Big show up from the rail draw. And the highest win payout in Delta Jackpot history.
I'm ashamed to say I have no idea.
Mr. Jester, $30.60. Now, that was not the longest shot that ever won.
Right.
Turf War, if you recall, was $8 million to 1 with Calvin Burrell, but dead heated, so the win payoff came out a little light.
Just a little bit.
Peyton Bradar was on the phone with a preview of the Delta Jackpot Day.
What do you think about the change here in terms of scheduling? It was always a Delta Jackpot Friday night. Now they'll be running it during the afternoon on Saturday.
Well, you know, given the fact that last year we were running in the darkness and the snow, I'm pretty excited that we're going to be in the afternoon, and I think it's going to be about 70 degrees. But I actually think that this is that part, the change in timing is a real positive in terms of really seeing, I think, a representative effort from some of these horses because, you know, with 2-year-olds shipping in from all over the place, many of them never having run under the lights or in circumstances similar to what they encounter at Delta, I think it's a positive to have it during the daytime. And I also think the races themselves will get a lot of attention. I think they're among some of the bigger events happening over the weekend during the day. They've got full fields all day. They've got a great pick 4. They've got numerous stakes races through the entire program. So I'm really excited about it.
Delta Downs Director of Racing Chris Warren gave us some insight on the standouts in this year's Delta Jackpot.
Who is one name or maybe two that would be like a big drama or a rule that we have to look forward to in the jackpot?
Well, I'll tell you this. We just got our heads together on the morning line, and 3 different people, the line maker, myself, and another guy from the office, everybody had a different favorite. No one could come to terms on who they thought, because it's kind of like a Kentucky Derby for 2-year-olds because they're coming from all over the country. We have a horse that I made high on the line. My counterpart in the racing office made it really low, a horse called Bug Juice, because he's won his last 3 races by a total of almost 25 lengths. His last race by 10, he ran a buyer of around 92, I think, but the races were all going short, and they were all against New York breds. So how's the public going to respond? He looks really good on paper, but he's never gone 2 turns, and he's never run a Delta Downs. His speed may carry. And again, probably Sweet Ducky. Maybe this horse, that's Sweet Ducky for Kelly Breen, looks like come into the form. He looks like the 2 turns are his forte. He seems to really like going long. His last race, he improved almost 2 seconds on the time for the half mile in the race when he stretched out and as the race got longer. Pretty wide open race. I mean, you could go through and make when the guys handicap the race there in the studio, they're going to sit there and make a stance for almost every horse. Any horse in the race, to me, you could say could win the race.
Mark Cassey explains how he handles his 80-horse stable and his family life.
You might be the busiest man in horse racing when you consider the 80 horses under your supervision. You're also the father of 7, so a family man as well. Does Mark Cassey have any time for Mark Cassey?
It's funny you should say that because my father just flew up and spending some time with me, and we were driving home, and I was going over a bunch of things, and he said, when do you have time to do anything? We were talking about the kids. You know what? I get a lot of joy out of my children. My oldest son, Norman, in fact, I'm not going to be there for the race. He's on his way there now. And I have a couple of my other sons enjoy the racing, and it's nice. It's nothing like, I'm in a business that I love. I've grown up in it. My father was in it, and now to see my kids enjoy it. What can I say? I'm living the dream.
No question about it. Mark, you mentioned that you won't be at Delta Downs for the race on Saturday. Is part of the reason for that because you won the race a few years ago with not being there? Is there a little superstition involved?
If you ask my son, that's it. He said, "Dad, I need to go down there." He said, "I'm 1 for 1," and I said, "Okay." Again, I have my base, and I like, I have the kids, and I have a lot of things going on, and we get everything done, and then we send the warriors to war, and usually you don't see me very often. I usually stay in one place, so. But you're right. We mentioned that Norman's 1 for 1, and so hopefully it'll be 2 for 2 Saturday evening.
Saturday's Delta Jackpot offered $1 million purse for 2-year-olds.
They're coming for home in the Delta Downs jackpot, the half in 46.56, 3/4 in 111.91. And out there now is Bug Juice on the inside, who is gobbled up by Gourmet Dinner, as well as Decisive Moment as they're coming to the top of the lane. Gourmet Dinner has striked the lead. Out there is Decisive Moment racing in second. Then comes Clubhouse Ride. Sweet Ducky's not going to get there, and Bug Juice is done. It's Gourmet Dinner and Sebastian Madrid to win the Delta Downs jackpot.
I was confident in this horse, and Steve has been doing good with this horse, getting ready for me.
Well, speaking of getting ready, Steve, at what point had you decided on the Delta Jackpot as the spot for Gourmet Dinner?
Well, we decided we'd just take a chance because of the money involved. We could have ran in Florida, but you don't get a chance to run for this kind of money very often, so we took a shot.
Obviously a shot that paid off. In terms of the race itself, as it was unfolding, what were your thoughts? What was going through your mind? Was it going the way you had kind of envisioned it?
Yes, I was very happy. He was a lot closer. He was on the bit, which wasn't normal for him, so I think the blinkers did the trick.
So been a lot of talk about the Calder surface setting horses up well for this particular surface. That's obviously true with Gourmet Dinner, but are there similarities, and was that in the thought process as well?
Not really. We came because of the purse, actually.
Well, it's a good reason to come. What will be on the plans now going forward?
No plans. We're just going to enjoy tonight or today.
Bouquet Booth was victorious in the Grade 3 Delta Downs Princess earlier in the card.
They're coming for home. Grandacious has the lead by a length and a half. Promise Me a Cat's going to have to work for this one. Niji's Grand Girl is 3 off the rail, racing in third. And then comes Bouquet Booth, who's putting in a rally. They've reached the top of the lane. Jesse Campbell all out aboard Grandacious. Here comes Niji's Grand Girl. And on the outside is Bouquet Booth. And Bouquet Booth is going to gobble him up late. It's Bouquet Booth and Niji's Grand Girl. And Bouquet Booth wins the Delta Downs Princess.
Well, we have the Right Time Racing Stable represented, as well as Steve Margolis, and you have to tell me, Dan, as you were watching the race unfold, what was going through your mind?
We couldn't believe it. She was the only filly that's closed all day. She's incredible. She really is. Steve and his staff have just done an unbelievable job with her. We have thought that she had a lot of talent, and she proved it today.
Well, Steve, we were talking before the race about speed, and you had some concerns that maybe speed wasn't backing up. As you were watching, were those concerns still utmost in your mind?
Well, it's been playing kind of a funny day. I mean, horses have been doing a little bit of both. This filly does have tractable speed, and Sean knew her when he rode her over at Keeneland, and we were hoping to be maybe a little closer, but it looks like she was getting hit with the dirt in her face until she kind of took it and went around the turn until she got used to it. Then she started leveling off. But she showed a lot of grit and pinned her ears back and really wanted to get it done. And I just want to thank Dan and the partners for it was a great day for everyone.
Surrounding the feature race were 6 more stakes at Delta Downs on Saturday.
It's My Star Runner with a 16th of a mile to go, drawing clear under P-Val. And it's going to be My Star Runner to win the Samstown Stakes. It's Bree Cat in the lane by 5. Winning Ride could not keep up with her. Shotgun Gulch is rallying on the outside, but coming to the finish, it's Bree Cat and Patrick Valenzuela to get another one as he takes the treasure chest. Z Humor set down for the drive, and Music Came digging into the outside. Behind those, it's Quindisi Man, who's down at the rail, and then comes Corrigal Cat. But Z Humor has plenty left at 9-5, and Z Humor's going to win another stake at Delta Downs. He takes the Delta Mile. They have a 16th of a mile to go, and 10 Saw Punch is going to knock him out tonight. It's 10 Saw Punch to win the Louisiana Juvenile by 2 lengths on the line. Here comes Fort Hood on the inside under Gerard Melanson. This one's going to be tight. It's Sukasa, G. Casa, and Fort Hood. Here comes the finish. Fort Hood gets up in the final strides. Coming on late, though, is Harley's Dreams, and on the outside, Bella Diamante is absolutely flying. It's Bella Diamante to get up and win the Orleans.
When HRTV Rewind returns,
his personality, his temperament, he's just very, as Bob used the word, he's a cool guy.
this week marked the retirement of fan favorite Zenyatta, who will be on her way to Lanes End Farm in December. Also retiring this week, Warrior's Reward, the Pamplemousse, Just Enough Humor, and Ashford's newest stallion, Looking at Lucky. Ashford stud manager Dermot Ryan was on the phone to talk about Looking at Lucky and his new home.
What did Looking at Lucky have in his pedigree that attracted Coolmore/Ashford to bring him on the stallion roster, to bid for him, because it's such a competitive business to get these stallions?
Well, it wasn't only just his pedigree, it was all the ingredients, his race record, his pedigree and his looks. That's really what we believe makes up a successful stallion.
Talk about what you think he'll bring to the table as a stallion.
Well, you know, horses like Lucky don't come around every year, and when they do, it's like having a number one draft pick for any team. You have to have him or be in a position to try and get him, and we believe he's the number one pick of the year. And especially Demi's been around many years, so he's got good insight to all that, you know.
You must be delighted to hear Bob Baffert say things like, he wants to win, he tries so hard, he's got a great mind, and he's a cool horse and a great athlete with that long stride. How important is it for a stallion prospect to have that kind of attitude?
Well, you know, Bob Baffert has been around a lot of good horses in his day, and he was very passionate about Looking at Lucky, and I can see what Bob meant when he said all that about Looking at Lucky. Now that we have the horse here the last couple of days, he's an absolute gentleman of a horse to be around. He's very different, and you know, all those attributes are very important for a trainer when he goes to train hopefully one of his produce, that he's good mind and temperament and soundness and everything else that goes with it. His personality, his temperament, he's just very, as Bob used the word, he's a cool guy.
Hoping to become the trainer of the richest quarter horse, Heath Taylor was on the phone Friday.
Historically, this has to be very, very exciting for you with this very talented horse.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal horse, and the earnings record has stood for quite a few years now. And anytime you have a horse that can maintain Grade 1 form at 2, 3, and 4, and of course, obviously, you never set out to even dream a horse to be the all-time earnings leader, so it's not something that you aspire to as far as it just happens in the context of their career. But it would be a great achievement, and hope it's a good, clean race, and hope that the horse will run to his best potential.
Q Racing ace Tom Dawson gave us some insight on the rider change for quarter horse Stoley's Winner.
Stoley's Winner's all he has to do is finish about 7th in here to become quarter horse racing's all-time leading money winner. Wow. He was a world champion as a 2-year-old. Hasn't been quite as sharp lately. In fact, he hasn't been breaking as sharply as he needs to in recent races, and they're going with local rider Gerard Deschamps instead of G.R. Carter, who's been his regular pilot. My personal opinion is if GR couldn't get him out of there straight, nobody else is going to do a better job. Stoley's Winner is good enough to beat this group still, but he's got to get away from there and give himself a chance. And that's what he has not been doing. I know we're talking straight lines and not curves, but think of Looking at Lucky and Garrett Gomez as an example. The Stoley's Winner just hasn't been leaving the gate as sharply as he needs to. Whether or not a different rider is going to make any difference in that respect, who knows? But I think the connections just felt like they needed to shake him up, needed to try something else.
John White and Gary Stevens were on site for the Bank of America Racing Challenge Championship at Fairgrounds.
And the gate. They're off in the Bank of America Racing Challenge Championship. And here's Jess, a runner who's going out toward the front. On the outside is featured Jess Rockin. Far outside, Time for a Cigar. Nearest the inside, Stoley's winner is finishing strong. Under 100 yards to go. It's Stoley's winner, but here's featured Jess Rockin and John Hamilton's third of the night. Featured Jess Rockin has won it from Riley's Boys, Stoley's winner, and Time for a Cigar.
First of all, John Hamilton, congratulations. By winning here earlier, did she have something of a home court advantage, do you think?
I think so. I think that, this surface is maybe a little different than what a lot of the horses are used to. The gates are definitely an issue, but she swallows everything up. I mean, she does it on her own. I mean, I want to thank God. I want to thank Donnie for allowing me to ride this mare. I mean, she's automatic. She's an exceptional. It's the fastest thing I've ever been on in my life. So I'm really thankful for all that. Very thankful.
We have Donnie Strickland here, the winning trainer. And Donnie, your thoughts on this victory?
Well, I'm glad this mare's getting the respect that she deserves. I said she was going off at 30-something to 1, and she holds the track record here. And I said, you know what, this might be her track. And she really loves the mud. We was hoping for the mud because she won 2 stakes in the mud, but it don't look like it matters.
It was really an outstanding night, a good crowd on hand, and some terrific racing. And Gary, what was the main highlight for you?
You look at Spit Curl, Diva's performance tonight. It was only a nose, and I'd said prior to the race that Spit Curl Diva would probably be favored or co-favorite in the big race. And I really don't think she would have had a shot tonight of beating the mare that got the job done.
But I also think of Stoley's winner, Gary. He came here with one primary goal. That was to become the all-time leading quarter horse earner, and he did it, and he did it with a respectable third-place finish. I'm with you. I think he's maybe lost a step, but he showed up today, and now he's the top earner.
I think one of the things that I'm most impressed with about Stoley's winner is a lot of these horses that are champions or former champions, once they lose a step, they don't put out, and they just don't run at all. This horse, he's still putting out. He's given what he's still got to give, given 100%, the sign of a true champion.
This week's Lane's End feature race was the Miss Revere from Churchill Downs.
Here's Aruna on the outside, given the office now by Ramon Dominguez. Following through, Snowtop Mountain towards the outside. Wild Mia is hanging tough. Aruna has got the lead inside the final furlong. Wild Mia tries to re-rally and does so gamely to the inside, but Aruna is fighting more. She's going to be a perfect 3 out of 3 in the USA. Aruna wins the Mrs. Revere. What a turn of foot.
Coming up on HRTV Rewind.
Junior Alvarado might have dinner tonight like he just won the Belmont Stakes, I tell you what.
Trail Beyond, and Joe Crispin skims that rail looking for number 7 on the day. It's Trail Beyond in a downpour at Portland Meadows, who comes to the 3/16th pole, 2.5 in front. Freebie on the outside, third of a kind, dives toward the rail, a final furlong to go, and Trail Beyond, Freebie coming right back at him though on the outside. Trail Beyond, Crispin riding for his 7th on the day. Trail Beyond, Joe, an historic afternoon, wins 7 as Trail Beyond beats Freebie by a length. Third of a kind was third, fourth was Truckee Valdora.
Well, as I said that, I wonder if that has ever been done. The same jockey to have 7 wins at Portland Meadows in an afternoon.
I know it's happened at Long Acres. I was right there when Larry Pierce did it and watched it happen. But whether it's a record there or not, it's one heck of a day. Congratulations to Joe Crispin. 7 wins out of the 9-race card on the 9-race card at Portland Meadows today. Well done, Joe.
Joe Crispin teamed with Jerry Hollendorfer for their first win of the day. Joe went on to win 7 in one day, and Jerry won 7 in 2 hours between 2 tracks.
Sakarist responding to heavy riding, draws level again with Grasp, and they're clear of Famous Donny, who's doing a good job getting into third. It's Grasp again just in front. Sakarist again counters. Sakarist just in front and wins.
It's Creek Valley and Mark Anderson. Carricott and Joe Crispin to duel for the final 50 yards. Carricott getting just the better of Creek Valley, and Carricott, another Hollendorfer winner, wins it a length.
And he gives her a slap, and Sky Bright Miss able to kick away easily to By Perfecto, wanted to duck in behind her. Sky Bright Miss is ambling away and wins with plenty in reserve.
Crescent McGay late run at the 16th pole. El Gaucho in front. Jerry Hollendorfer 7 for 7 today between Golden Gates and Portland Meadows as he wins the Dennis Dodge Memorial with El Gaucho.
Bimbo Magic with a 16th to go, leads by a couple of lengths. Nina wins, giving chase in earnest, but Bimbo Magic still with a good lead, and it's just a hand ride. Jerry Hollendorfer and jockey Russell Bays, the early pick 3. About 150 yards to go. Seismic Speed kicks to a good lead. Jerry Hollendorfer to go 4 for 4 on the afternoon. Seismic Speed taking care of business with a plum. And Jerry Hollendorfer is 4 for 4 with his starters today.
HRTV congratulates jockey Mike Smith on his second Big Sport of Turfdom Award. He also won in 2009 as part of Team Zenyatta. Congratulations also go out to jockey Junior Alvarado for an outstanding ride at Aqueduct.
Yeah, you watch as they go, and she actually breaks okay the first step, but watch the second step here right there, and his right leg comes to the left side of the filly. Lucky to be able to recover, and let's see how she does after this.
My Honey Laurie is third, coming down to the finish. Soda Cat's My Honey Laurie's run an absolutely remarkable race. Could she win after that start? Yes, she can.
Now, so many times when these horses stumble, you see them be rushed up to get into a position a little too early and then fade. Junior very patient, and that's got to be the happiest he's been about winning a race since he took down the Beverly D this summer for Mr. McAnally and Mr. Duchess.
But he's happy about finishing that race, let alone winning that race.
Absolutely.
So he's the toast of the town there in New York right now, getting that victory here in the nightcap with the favorite. And how many chalk players were watching that and swallowing their Adam's apple when they saw that stumble?
Just a $16,000 purse, but Junior Alvarado might have dinner tonight like he just won the Belmont Stakes, I tell you what.
This week's Claiborne Stakes showcase was the Discovery Handicap from Aqueduct.
And the trailer takes north, but it's wide open at the top of the stretch. Stormy's Majesty, the leader. The leader coming down to the last furlong now by 3. Not Abroad is chasing that one home. Teeks North there on the far outside and over communication. Coming down to the finish. Stormy's Majesty and Edgar Prado sharp in victory to win the Discovery Handicap.
That's all for HRTV Rewind this week. Here's what's coming up next week, including an all-new episode of Inside Information.
One day, Secretariat's coughing. I says to the foreman, I says, Secretariat's coughing. And he says, okay. Foreman says, okay. About a week later, Lucian Lauren walks in the shed and he hears Secretariat cough. And he says to me, Jimmy, how long has he been coughing? I says, over a week now. Over a week now, why didn't you tell me? I says, well, I told the foreman. I worked him 3/8 of a mile at Belmont Park the day before the Wood Memorial. And I had to kick him and nudge him to make him go. He went in 39. We go back to the barn. I says, there's something there with this horse. You better have him checked. This was the day before the Wood Memorial. I want to get this cleared up right now because there's a lot of stories about this. And he never had it checked. He never told Lucian Lauren. The next morning, Dr. Gilman comes out the day of the Wood Memorial, lifts Secretariat's lip up to see his tattoo number, and Secretariat flinched, and underneath his lip was a big abscess. Dr. Gilman said it wouldn't hurt him, to go ahead and run him anyway. So they ran the horse. Turcotte says he never took hold of the bit the whole time in the Wood Memorial. At this time, Turcotte didn't even know it. That's the reason nobody knew about the abscess until the day of the race.